Bam, there. See, the audio wasn't on. Now it is. Ah, look at that.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year 2021. We survived 2020. I'll do that all over again. So excited to be here. I would love if you are following us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Make sure you hit a like. Make sure you share this live and tell me, how did you spend your pandemic 2021? I want to know, was it exciting? Was it boring? Was it sad? Were you sorry to see the year go? Or are you super charged for the new year and looking forward to what it brings? Right? So we're doing our audio check, making sure our visual is all together. Got my hair did yesterday, which is great, or else I would be looking quite terrible today. Maybe I'm going to try to see who's online. If you want us to see your comments, I suggest that you go over to Facebook, follow Bud's personal page as opposed to Amarachi Studios, and drop us a comment so I can see what you have to say. So, Bub.
Testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2.
Somebody let us know. You know, the studio we're in has so many live big screens, and I can hear Ted talk. Ted, what's that movie? The movie with the talking teddy bear in the background. So I don't know. Can you hear it? Let us know. I'm gonna travel over to the Facebook chat.
Yes. I think we're good. We're good. We're good to go. We're good to go.
Awesome. So I think what I'll do while we get started is sit up straight, as I caught my posture on the Facebook Live, and I was looking just a little bit scary. So, how did you guys spend your 2021 New Year? That's really what I want to know. I started to actually book a hotel in Times Square so that I could probably see the what are they called? The fireworks. But I realized that at the time that I made the decision, which was around 7:30, to try and book a hotel in Times Square, that due to all the security and the social distancing, I probably wouldn't have been able to make it to the hotel. So I just decided not to do that. I ended up staying at home. So I see we have a couple people on live. Let me see if I can see.
Yes. So we are live. We are live. Once again, I just want to welcome everybody. Happy New Year. We made it to 2021.
That's right.
Very excited. You know, we could really now begin mentally to put the past in the past.
Yes.
I think this January 1st is always an exciting day for us, because no matter what happened in the year before, it's an opportunity for you to say, it's the past and we're going to start fresh. It's the great reset. It's the great reset button. Metaphysically, spiritually, it also signifies, December 25th. You look at the winter solstice,
right.
We now start crossing over to a time of regeneration, rebirth, regrowth. Yes, I am still answering the phone at Amarachi. I'm the only one here. So I'm going to pass over to
Donnatella.
Actually, no, I'm not. Oh, someone came in. Wonderful. So someone came in to spare me. The restaurant business, as you all know, is still shut down for the most part. We do rely on takeouts, deliveries, but it's nothing like what it used to be at all by any stretch. So we're on like a limited skeleton staff. So I'm burning more hours, kind of doing the cooking, doing the servicing, doing the everything you can until they allow us to reopen back up, and I can bring in my lovely staff to serve. But I'm gonna pass it to Donnatella real quick.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to be with you here in 2021. Hi Joyce, I see you online. Happy New Year to you as well. I'd love to know, how did you spend your New Year's? Can you do me a favor? Can you turn the music down just a little bit for me? Thank you. I wanted to have a little music in the beginning to kind of set the vibe to kind of walk into the new year, but I want to make sure that you hear me clearly over the music as well. So I struggled with trying to figure out how I wanted to bring in the new year. So what I decided is that I wanted to put myself in the mindset of whatever it is I wanted more in the new year, like calmness, love, unity, organization. That's what I wanted to be doing at midnight. So I actually I stayed inside because it's a pandemic, right? And at midnight, I had my little motivational Bible next to me. I was eating an apple because I wanted to be healthier. I had 2 bottles of champagne next to me, but I didn't even open it because my one of my New Year's resolutions is I really want to drink less this year. I think I drank a lot last year.
Well, you listen. Everyone drank a whole lot last year.
Yeah.
We I was lucky enough to buy a nice grape apple cider when
That's
I
what I
was in the
started to
grocery
have. I
store.
started to have a sparkling
So
apple cider
of course
too.
at midnight, my co-host here, or you want to show your face? My co-host here, pulled out the apple cider, and we all okay. My other co-host that doesn't want to be on TV today pulled out the apple cider and said that and we all toasted and celebrated, welcomed the new year in. So my brother Julian here says, is my co-host a Bible reader? Also, one thing we're gonna do, we're gonna be posting the link. So if you want to come on live with us, we can do a nice little split screen, and you can come and give your New Year's Day prayers, congratulations, welcome, greeting. We're all down for it. So I'm gonna be posting the link right on this page here, so you guys could come on and come hang out with us, man. Come be part of the show.
Yeah, I think for
But yes, she is a Bible thumper.
listen, you are not coming for me in 2021. You do not want me to bring some of my fellow Christians on here. This
No,
is
we are
not what this is
preaching
about.
love. I am not. Listen, I am gonna be less. I'm gonna go after y'all a whole lot less this year. I think we as a people, we have to figure out a way that we can unify all of our faiths into a progressive, cohesive, forward-moving agenda that empowers Black people. My main problem with Christianity has always been that it's been an agent of white supremacy, and it's been a system they use to enslave and indoctrinate us.
This
Um,
camera's active.
so as we move forward, we have to find a way to reprogram that propaganda and that tool, because so many people are still connected to it, and there's nothing we're going to do or say that's going to really disconnect them from it. So but we need to come together as a people. So we're going to work on figuring out a way where us non-Christians and us Christians can work together to defeat white supremacy.
I think there is a great start. Jules, I didn't take it any kind of way. He actually said he didn't mean to start anything, which is great because this is the first day of the new year. We have 364 more days to go, and it's okay. I think one of the things that I became more aware of is that people are very passionate about their beliefs, and so I have always been taught kind of not to question or say too much about another person's choice for religion, or even those who don't have religion. But Bob, I'm just wondering, what are some of the first things that you're thinking about that are important to you for the new year?
What's like I said, well, actually, let me hear what you think is important while I take
I
this
know
call.
we're multitasking. So
Amarachi, can I help
for
you?
me, in 2021,
Hello, Amarachi, can I
a
help
lot of what I'm looking to do or to promote or be a part of is basically as a result of directly what I experienced, I guess, last year. As you see, I'm still kind of hyper, drinking a lot of sugar-based drinks this morning, so my thoughts are kind of all over the place. But I think one of the things that I learned the most last year is how much I underappreciated family, freedom of choice, to get up, leave my house whenever I want to, go where I want to, walk outside without a mask on. The basic necessities of life, I think I personally took them for granted. My choice whether or not I want to take a vaccine or not. There's all types of civil liberties that I think we all took for granted. I also took for granted, the ability to be able to call some of my friends when I wanted to. And that's basically this coronavirus in the last year, took a lot of people from us very unexpectedly. And so this year, I intend to, give my roses to people while they're alive in the moment that I feel it, and not wait until a holiday or a birthday or a special occasion, you know? So
No, I was just waving at the fan. I didn't mean to distract you.
you did, because we're sitting here, and if you're waving at the fans, that means the camera's on you. So
No. I didn't. Listen, pay me no mind. Don't follow my gestures. It's all about trying new things in 2021. So we're being more engaging. Like I said, it's really about positivity. Last year was such a negative year in so many dimensions. We're just gonna try to just push positivity as JoJo continues. What are you doing? We're gonna continue to push
I love
positivity
you.
and and really just build and discipline. That's the word today.
Yeah,
That
discipline.
I really want to focus on is discipline. We all have our different ideas on what we need to do better, on goals we're trying to set. Let's really focus on the discipline it requires to achieve these goals.
That is huge. That is discipline.
Let's just focus on discipline. Like when the
I
minute
agree.
you just want to say screw it, say nope. It's my what do you call it? It's my what do you call it? My New
My
Year's
mantra,
resolution
your New Year's
is
resolution,
to
your
be
mantra.
is to be more disciplined, and don't just say screw it, and don't just I'm just gonna have that. No, don't do it. Stay disciplined, stay focused. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, because for everything we lost last year, we're gonna try and make up as much ground. There's certain things we that can't come back, obviously. There's certain things we cannot undo. We know that, but we're gonna try and make up as much positivity and good fortune, um, to replace all the tears, the sadness, the loneliness, the that 2020
Absorbed from us.
just
Yeah.
wrapped around us. So back to you, Don.
I think those are some pretty good points that you made. Discipline's going to be key for me as I'm trying to, and I guess you have to also think about the words that you say, that you project out into the universe. Happy New Year. We do have limited staff here, but the few people that are coming in, that are working in the kitchen, you got to greet them with the energy you want them to feel for the entire year.
Yes.
And so I think probably some people are wondering, we're kind of switching up our focus for the new year. I think when you've done something for a little while and you want to improve it, you kind of have to evaluate what you've done so far. And one of the things that I think is missing or lacking or not as strong as is the promotion of the father figure in our community. And so we've decided to modify two things. So normally, we say, oh, welcome to Journeys from Lagos to Brooklyn, which is a huge mouthful, right? And some of you, your attention span is not so great. So what we're going to be doing is really talking about, what's the acronym? JLFB. JLFB. I have to get that going. So
JFLB.
Journeys from JFLB. See, I haven't even done it yet. This is the bad part with live, filming live. So JFLB. Let's say that there's something that you want to bring to our attention that you might see on social media. Hashtag whatever that post is, so that when we go and look under our hashtag, we'll see the things that you'd like us to discuss. I'm not saying we're going to discuss everything, but it'll make it a little bit easier for you to share ideas with us in real time.
So one of the things we got a question here. We're still trying to figure out how to get all these questions up on the platform. But our good friend Jules said, "Bub, could you give us a little bit more of that wisdom on how to remain focused on business or personal goals through the difficult moments over the years?" That's an excellent question. One of my secrets is that I think you have to have support bars, support pillars that you shook yourself around. So when I was a young man, one of the first things that was important, one of the most important things to me was finding a partner, finding a wife,
Hmm.
who would keep me grounded, who would keep me in my lane if I swayed to the left or the right, to have someone that was brilliant enough to understand how to keep me in check. And then after finding that person, having children, now to take the focus off of really just us, but now invest our lives into the upbringing of our children, and try to set them up and try to do things to make sure that they can grow up uh, and have every opportunity afforded to them. So, believe it or not, that's one of the main reasons why I've never cheated. I just don't want my children to be in a situation where they're spending 1 week with me and 1 week with their mother.
Right.
It's just not worth it. It's just not healthy. I think to put them through that knowingly. Things happen in life, and I'm not trying to diss anyone that cheated, or I'm not even, like I said, we're not going to be
No,
negative.
but I
We're
think you're
just going
just
to
setting
say,
standards.
that, these are some things that you do indirectly to prevent you from creating havoc in your life. So you have these little support systems that keep you going forward. And with those little support systems, you realize how much good you can do when you're focused on doing good. So, my secret is to tell you to find those little support things that will prevent you from going astray, and align yourself up with those things. So for today, I'm going to highlight my wife and my family as that centralized theme as to what kept me, on the straight and narrow, because I love them so much. I don't want to lose uh, the ability for this guy to jump in my bed every morning, or for my young daughters not to see me. It just means so much to be with them that you don't want to jeopardize any of that.
Right. So I'm going to give you some of the things that are successful for me in staying focused. And this is coming from a single person's perspective. I'm not blessed at this point to have found the person that I love enough to give me an offspring. But I think a lot has to do with what you surround yourself with, or what practices that you have as well. So there are some people who are very much committed to the scripture, the Bible. Lots of times, if you try to surround yourself with like minded people, or people who are positive and forward thinkers, and by forward thinkers, I mean you always want to surround yourself with people who challenge you to fight the good fight. You know, um, they say that if you surround yourself with people who are less achieving, then you're all pretty much going to be doing about the same, or living a mediocre existence. And I think it's all relative to what you want in life. But if I have people around me who are honest enough to say, "Hey, Donatella, I don't think that's the best thing for you, or you're doing too much, or you're not doing enough," it is always great to have that extra, weight right beside you to kind of put a battery in your back and push you forward. The other thing is, I've now decided, well, I won't even say now, I've always been of the mindset that I pay attention to who I follow on social media. So I never really follow a lot of people who have, let's say, 100% of the text type of quotes, unless they're positive. But I don't follow people on social media really who are posting nothing but violence. I would say the only persons that I do are usually boxers, because I love boxing sports. But you need to have a well rounded sense of what's going on in life. So I do follow some entertainers, some sports. I am a Christian, so I go to Bible study remotely now every Sunday morning. That's one of the things that I've been afforded to thanks to the pandemic, since everything's online. Um, and then education, you should always be in a point to grow, regardless to if your ambition is the CEO or president of a company, or maybe you want to create your own LLC or your own non-for-profit, or maybe you're just a person who likes to work every day for another person so that you get benefits and build a 401k. I think whatever it is that works for you, just always try to be the best. Um, and stay positive. And those are the things to me that help keep me grounded.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you, my sister. So, um, I want to touch a bit, a little bit about certain things that concern me coming into this new year. Uh, Obviously, we have a new strain of COVID,
Yep.
and it's concerning because I always say, they wanted this thing to be much more deadlier. They wanted a lot more people to die. When I say they, I talk about I'm a conspiracy theorist. That didn't change. I'm still there in 2021.
Right.
The people that created this nonsense wanted more death, more destruction, and they didn't get it. And a lot of that credit is due to uh, us on social media, spreading information about how to cope, whether it be the proning technique, whether it be the herbal
Method.
elixirs that we,
Hmm.
we put together to really reduce the, the effects of this thing
Hmm.
on our bodies. The vitamin D, the ginger, the sea moss. So now they've come up with a more violent strain of COVID-19, which they're calling COVID 21,
Hmm.
which recently was discovered in Europe, and it's made its way now to the US. We now have our first uh, case in Colorado.
Yeah,
Once
and
again, the same playbook they did with us when COVID-19 came. The first place it came, finally, it landed in Seattle. They always started out in the West Coast. And before you know it, watch in a week's time, you're going to see New York City start reporting. They've been doing a lot of tests in New York City so far. No reports yet. But mark my words, within a week, you're going to get this new strain. So, um, word to the wise is start preparing yourself as you did last year. Start getting your medicines, your medications, also your PPE, your personal protection equipment. Get your gloves, get your sanitizer, get your Lysol, all those things. This is a part two of the drill. We're gonna have to go through that all over again. And from some sites that I'm on, we're talking a lot worse. We're talking a complete shutdown again. This is what they're planning, like martial law, like it's about to get really, really crazy. I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you that that's going to happen, but this is what people are talking
yeah,
about.
but that is what you're saying.
No, no, but I'm just letting you
You're
know this is
sharing.
what people are talking about. We're all focused on this election thing that's happening, which is part two of what I want to talk about, because their story, their reports now that the government is, no, the president, the acting president right now, is looking to go to war, like in the next few days. And this war, obviously, it's totally not justified, but it's going to be a pretext for him to try to stay in power.
Well, so
The man knows that New York State is coming for him come January 21st. So really, he's trying to do everything he can to stop this process.
So I want to chime in on a couple things. So number one, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I enjoy the conversation with Bub and hearing the things that he's exposed to, because I think knowing everything that's going on helps you to make better educated decisions for yourself. I will say though, from my standpoint, certain things that are happening now was foreshadowed in the middle of last year. So at the point in which President Trump said that he was going to win the election, if you remember, I think it was as early as April when he started foreshadowing about his disbelief in the ability to vote accurately and efficiently from a remote location. So that was his foreshadowing to say that absentee voting is not valid and can't be trusted,
Yeah,
right?
he did that.
Then at one point, when he started to speak about all the different ways in which, the Democrats are trying to steal the election, and he started this foundation which Republicans and his supporters could contribute to, right? So if you started from April, May, and you're saying, oh, I think the first election was sometime in June, I can't recall now, that the votes won't matter, you're going to get sick, don't wear a mask. And then when you start to see that people are taking the other route, it makes it more believable to some of his followers who, some of them I don't think are very are very bright. They're not fact finding. They simply just listen to what he says, right? So I think we learned toward the end of the year that there's certain things that could happen that could keep him in presidency, right? So number one, don't concede, just stay there, right? If he doesn't concede, then he could then contest the validity of the absentee votes, and if he gets enough backing, then it would go to Congress or Senate, and then they would have to vote on it. Well, that didn't happen. A long time ago, I heard that if we were in a state of martial law at the time in which he's supposed to transition from one place to another presidency, he also would not have to leave the office. So it doesn't surprise me now that they're saying that he's trying to begin a war, right? As for the second strand, it is quite alarming. What I saw was, I think the first strand was encountered in the UK, and they alleged that it came from South Africa, right? And when this 20-something-year-old in Colorado was diagnosed with the strand, it was quite puzzling because they also acknowledged that this 20-year-old had not done any traveling at all. But that part is not puzzling to me when you think about a lot of the communities outside of, let's say, our Black and brown communities are not wearing masks, right? A lot of the Republican supporters. I used to reside in Colorado, like my family base. Colorado is a state where you open up a bank account, you get a free gun, right? I think you have a lot of thinkers who don't share the same vantage point that I do. And with that said, a lot of these people not wearing masks, even here in New York. We're supposed to not have small gatherings or large gatherings, but people are still having it. How many of you actually spend Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's Eve celebrating? You're not helping stop the spread either, right? You may be looking at the two of us and we're not wearing a mask, but we literally have been together almost every day since the pandemic started. Um, Outside, I wear a mask. I wear a face shield most of the time, except for now in the winter, it keeps fogging up and I can't see. I always use my hand sanitizer. I have gloves. I do think we need to take this second strand very serious for a lot of reasons, but primarily because I would imagine each one of you probably knows someone who's traveled to Mexico during this pandemic. Any of those places which had less aggressive tracking of the coronavirus. I myself even thought about going to Tulum for the new year until I did a little more investigation and realized people who are traveling to certain parts of Mexico and Tulum, you don't even have to take a coronavirus test to go there. All you simply do is fill out a little form that says, hey, I don't have the coronavirus. I haven't been around anyone. They take your temperature and you leave some contact information. When you go to wherever it is you're staying, all of the other people who travel, they're not wearing masks either. In a lot of places, the staff are. So you have all these people amongst each other, breathing each other bodily fluids,
now,
and then coming back.
now let me interject for a hot second here. Isn't it interesting that yes, people travel to these places, and for the most part, everyone is life is like conducting themselves like nothing happened, and there is not this huge I don't know what Mexico's numbers are, right? I
Yeah,
don't know what their
they're
stats are.
apparently not as large.
I don't, there's not this huge, one. I don't even know how to describe it. If you live in this country and you
Hmm.
watch TV at all, CNN has a sticker. The breaking news
Right,
is on 24/7.
right.
It's corona. I mean, I'm corona. I have corona fatigue
Yeah.
of the numbers of how
Hmm.
many died today, how many
Yeah, we're actually really
hospitalizations.
high right now.
So, isn't it just interesting that there's societies that they're not even trying to do anything,
Yeah, I think
and
it's
then
in
and then and
Switzerland.
then we go, Americans go into these places and do the same thing they do, come back, and we kind of blame these people for getting us all infected. Will you stop it?
I love
I'm
it.
gonna kick you out.
But you know what? This is great because this is what. So let's two things. I get diverted by my handsome young man here. That you are right now showing exactly what has happened the entire 2020 to unexpected parents, professionals who are using Zoom when their youthful, adoring children are nearby and they're being children. So he's being a child, which is great, and I'm sure our
Yeah.
followers will love it. There's some realism, but I think what's interesting is a lot of these countries don't have the governments that are stepping on their neck outside of Asia, right? So Japan declared about a month ago they were getting so many high infections that anyone who wasn't of their, I don't want to say nationality, but their citizenship,
Hmm.
you can't go there. Any more nationals cannot go to Japan because it was getting out of control. And what was interesting when I was watching the coverage, and I worked in Japan. They are super super strict. They have like less than 1% crime there. You do something wrong, it's basically off with your head. But on this news coverage, they're showing a lot of Japanese business people walking down the street with their mask on. And here comes what looks like to me a European male jogging in between everybody with no mask on. And that exemplifies what our problem is. When you think, and I'll use Nigeria for an example, a lot of people I know went to Nigeria recently for the Christmas season. And initially, when they got there, they saw a lot of people not wearing their masks. But what happened, one of the higher ups in government came down with a really bad case of COVID. Another entertainer lost a very close relative to COVID around the same week, but in another country in Dubai. Immediately, they clamped down the same initiatives that we have here
Okay.
with the early closings. Just let me finish.
Go ahead.
With the early closings and people staying inside. When they started shutting down and dying at the rate that we are in the United States. And my honest opinion is that number one, they don't have the diets that we have here. They're not eating the same trashy food, the fast food. Most of the Nigerians that I know are not on medications heavily. They don't have the underlying issues. So those are two things.
So I went. I was doing a little reading today, and I found that in one of their new studies, they are saying that there's a specific gene
Hmm.
that you find in Neanderthals that makes you more COVID resistant.
Resistant. Hmm.
Now, the interesting thing about this gene is that it originated in sub-Saharan Africa,
Okay.
and the Europe, I guess, I don't even want to go that far. But
Yeah.
but after the ice ages, right?
Hmm.
This group of people went to Europe and mated with Neanderthals, and so those group of people, which are today modern day Europeans, are less likely, have this gene that's able to fight on this COVID um, stronger.
Hmm.
And also, if you are sub-Saharan African without mixing with, so it's basically saying that if you are a Nigerian and your bloodline is there, you have a higher resistance.
Hmm.
And also, if you are Aryan, you
Mm.
have a higher resistance.
Okay.
Everybody in between is gonna get jacked up by this virus. So,
Right.
which begs the question is, could this also be, because I believe this thing was man-made, could this also be a bioweapon?
Well, if it was man-made and in the method in which it's being disseminated, it definitely would be a bioweapon, right? that that's it in any form.
And we know white nationalists,
Hmm.
their whole shtick is that their race is dying out
Right.
and they need to eliminate others,
The stronger race.
you
Absolutely.
know, so that they can flourish, or so they don't die out,
Right.
so
And at the rate that people are what is the word?
procreating.
Procreating. Yeah. If you just use a little common sense, in X amount of years, there would be no white race, right? I think in this world, as long as you have freedom of speech and freedom of thought, anything is possible, right? Do I believe that there might have been some man-made source that created this in a laboratory and it just went crazy and got out into the world? Maybe anything is possible. But for me, my focus is more, I think people, like you said earlier, are so tired of talking about COVID and so tired of having to answer to powers that don't seem to be um, sympathetic to their current situation, like small business owners. Goodness grace, the youth who can't go to school, the athletes who are looking to get scholarships who can't perform. And then, goodness gracious, the single people who wanted to date and possibly mate who can't do it if you have half a brain, because you don't know what anybody has. So, am I frightened by this second strand? Absolutely. And one of the things that I meant to mention earlier, Biden said a long time ago that when he came into office, if he thought doing a complete shutdown would be needed in order to slow down the strand, he absolutely would do it. So he said that already. That is why I have spent the last 2 months grinding out, getting my paperwork together for my small businesses so that when this second stimulus rolls around, I can qualify for all these different loans or grants that are out there, and relocating to a place that made me feel safer if I had to be inside for another 3 or 4 months at one time.
You raised an excellent point about this next round of stimulus.
It
So
starts next week.
once again, I this is a drill.
Right.
This is a replay of 2020.
Yep.
The government has just announced and released a whole huge whopping plan to help save small business. I don't know if it's going to save small business, but it's going to put a lot of money out there. It's going to
Right.
put a lot of money into the
Right.
economy. Now, if you own a small business, this is the time now to have your affairs in order. They told you that
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
You
They-
know,
the
they
minute
told
they gave
you
it away.
you got to run this off the books business. You will die if you continue to run your business off the books. You have no future.
Or
Listen
if
to
you
what I'm
or
telling you.
if you cheat the
You
books.
have no future. No, they always cheat. Don't believe that. But you have to have books.
Yep.
See, they have to have. You have to have. Your president cheated his books all the way to the presidency, so can't say you don't cheat. They cheat all the time.
Hmm.
But you have to have books.
But Letitia's gonna fix him.
And a whole lot of people, Letitia ain't fixing.
Yeah.
Letitia is fixing him because he's too arrogant.
Absolutely.
He's too arrogant. And I mean, when you're a billionaire and you're paying $750 for taxes, now you're just sticking the middle finger at the government. You see what I'm saying? Come on now. So
I'd like to talk.
second round of stimulus, get your paperwork ready. You're going to need your tax returns for,
I was just
for
going to
20,
say, I wanted to talk
2019,
that.
2018. You're going to need your payroll information, which told you payroll is so important. Everything is based on payroll. So I hope you learned the first time when they came out with PPP, it says payroll protection,
Absolutely.
that you got yourself a payroll system, a payroll company, and all the money you're paying out to people went on payroll, because the money you're gonna get is gonna be based on what you pay people,
Right.
and I think it's up to 3.5 times that amount. So we're talking possibly a significant amount of money that you're going to be able to qualify for. And when I say qualify for, like, the standard for getting this thing, the bar is so low. Like I say, you just have to be official. You have to just do these things the right way. You don't have a problem. It's not going to be based on your credit.
Well, it actually is. The SBA loans are credit
SBA
based.
is different than the PPP.
Yeah.
This is a different program. That's
Yeah.
what I said. SBA loan is different. This is payroll protection. This is to be able to hire employees back. This is be able to keep the unemployed. America hates certain things. Unemployment numbers, like they need those unemployment numbers low. So they want you to just go out and hire people, even if they're not doing nothing, which, as most of you know, people don't do nothing at work anyway. They just got jobs and they just sit at the desk and play Twitter and Snapchat.
That is not true for everyone. I have some suggestions for them. So last year, a lot of people don't know the things that I do in the background that I have. I am happy to say that I was able to help at least, I think it was about 10 small businesses get their affairs in order so they could qualify for the PPP program, assisted them with getting their EIDL. Quite a few of them last year did not have the appropriate credit score for SBA, which you typically need to have at least a 680 credit score in order to qualify for the small business loans. So if you are kind of shaky, or perhaps maybe you're a home-based business, meaning you are working all with cash, you haven't filed any taxes, there was an easy way to legally put your affairs in order to qualify for the same funding. All you had to do was submit your taxes for 2018 or 2019. If you'd already submitted your taxes, and let's say you omitted your income from your side hustle or your cash-based business, all you have to do is contact your accountant, amend that year's taxes, and they can add that income on your Schedule C, right? So if you need any of that information, you can find me online. I'm My Hungry World. If you go to my Instagram, there's an email address. Just reach out to me. And because of the pandemic, I've literally cut my services in half by 50%. And this year, I made sure to reach out to about 5 businesses, give them what I call My Hungry World Gems, some free information so that they can set up, get their minority certification, submit their taxes, hire an accountant, so that when this stimulus check starts to be distributed next week, which for New Yorkers, we're lucky that the federal funding has now been approved. And starting January 3rd, those individuals who qualify for unemployment will automatically start receiving their benefits.
Right.
So if you've been certifying each week
Right,
and you still
behind
haven't received a payment yet, January 3rd, they will start releasing those checks. Maybe you qualify for PUA, PUA. That's the program that says if you were connected to COVID-19 during the pandemic, maybe you were taking care of someone who had COVID. Maybe you became head of household because someone in your house passed.
You sound like
because
the
of
man
COVID.
that's on the phone.
I sound like who?
The poor guy.
Oh, I don't know. I just want to give this information out because I think a lot of people don't understand. And you have to come out of the mindset that receiving services that you worked hard for, you paid your taxes for, is not begging. I think people just don't understand. If you're in New York City and you're looking for a place to live, do you know that the economy when it comes to renting is so tragic right now that apartments that normally rent from $5,000 to $7,000 in New York City are going for like $2,500. People are giving away 4 to 8 months free credit, years worth of free parking, $1,000, $2,000 gift cards, and maybe you're in a position where you don't have the best credit, but where you've been living during this pandemic up to date wasn't very safe. There are companies that operate as what's called a guarantor. So you submit your financial information, they check to see what your income is, and you can literally pay them to guarantee your lease at any of these luxury buildings or regular apartment buildings. Tenants and landlords have always had a difficult time, but New York is one of those states that's really a tenant state. So if you're a landlord, you know it could take you about a year to get someone out of your property if they're not paying rent. So you want to try to connect with these guarantor services to make sure that you get your rent. So I think that's a lot of information, I know, but we wanted to start the new year out with trying to give you as much positive energy, whatever negativity you were encountering in 2020, kind of leave it back there and just move forward. So I think I'm super excited. I have a lot of things that are going on, and we're going to be talking to you a little more regular than we have in the last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, closing inside dining and preparing for the year's end kind of caught everybody off guard. So I don't know. I'm going to turn it back over to Bub.
Yes, my dear. You keep hitting these nails on the button. I feel like you don't even need me here anymore.
Of course I do. It's your studio.
What we're trying to do is set you up so you can hit the ground running in 2021. If you follow me, if you know me, you know last month was just very turbulent, crazy, a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment. But
Yep.
like I said, you hit the big reset button, you have a new attitude, you try to turn every disappointment into a blessing, into an opportunity. And they have an opportunity here for us to try to make some gains on. You got to do your part to make sure you qualify, make sure you can get back on your feet. And like Donnatella said, if you need to relocate, this is a good time to consider all options.
Absolutely.
So you don't end up back in the same predicament you were in, because as we continue to see, this is a cycle. These things continue. So I'm going to be doing things to also insulate myself from
Right.
having the same challenges I had when the governor and the mayor, are playing footsie with indoor and outdoor dining.
Right.
So, you realize, listen, okay, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So let's use this information, and there's a whole lot more out there.
Absolutely.
What it's going to require you to read, like I said, discipline. I require you to read, research, and apply. If you have questions, feel free to call. Don't call me. Call Donnatella.
Yes, you can call me.
That's her business. I haven't launched my personal consulting business. Y'all can't afford me yet. So for now, I'm giving all my wisdom to her, so you can go through her,
Yeah.
and she can get you and your organization, your business situated, and also come on our show, like our show, share our show, tell people about it. We want to be able to do this in a larger, bigger platform, because we feel that this is what's necessary. It's not all fun and games. It's not the most entertaining. You're not going to see naked girls on the here. You're not going to hear the
No.
best music. But, we get enough of that already. So, spend 1 hour out of your time just vibing with us and seeing what's going on, picking our brains, answering your comments. You have questions. We're here, to listen. We're here to provide solutions. Um, so that's what it's about. Happy New Year to all my people here on Facebook watching. We thank you for
Absolutely.
continuing to watch. I have some catering gigs I got to get to in a few minutes. So we're not going to have a 3-hour show like we did the other
No,
day.
and I have a family Zoom.
And then Dontel has a family Zoom. But we thought it was important to come out here today and wish you all a happy new year. And, you know, start the year off right. Look, I even got my whole body steps counter and all that good business because
Oh, is that a Fitbit?
yeah, I'm trying to
Awesome. I told you you're looking winter slim to me, Bub.
maybe my wife let me have a second wife.
No, let's not get carried away.
It's just a joke. Man. Just a joke.
I know. Whether it's okay with the belief or not. I am here representing all women who don't want to share. But no, it's been great. You know, I have also opened myself to positive affirmations. And so I said that 2021 is going to bring me the perfect king for myself that I do not have to share. Emphasis on not sharing.com. Thank you. All right.
What, not sharing.com. What's that?
No, I'm just saying,
Okay,
that's my slang. So
so now we messed up, right?
what?
The main theme that we wanted to talk about today.
Oh,
we
it's
didn't even,
uplifting
we
black
didn't even
fathers.
mention it.
That's
We
true.
just went live and just pew. We left our whole idea around the
It's
corner.
energy.
We just pew gone.
That's true. That's true.
So really this year, the theme of this show is Black Fathers Matter.
Absolutely, they do.
Black Fathers Matter. We are going to talk it up. We are going to continue talking it up. We want
Yeah.
you to talk it up. And I want to put pressure on every one of you and my brothers out there to take on the responsibility of what it means to be a father, to not just be a father, to be a black father.
Mhm.
You know, your children need you. They really need you. These kids are being raised by TikTok and all these apps and are learning a lot of garbage, and they're learning a lot of things they don't need to be learning at such tender ages. If you're not there monitoring what they're doing, if you're not there policing them, you'll be surprised where you find yourself as they become young adults. It's important. And not just the kids, our women need you too. Our women need a mental break. You know, they need less drama in their lives. They need some peace. They just want to just be them, just want to relax. And you can offer that to them if you just get in line. Like, just don't cause her any extra additional headaches. I know it's not easy. Your woman might be a headache herself, but let's make this year about forgetting that part,
Right.
and give her one whole year of you not being a headache. And then next year we're gonna turn the focus on them. Say, listen, we gave you a whole year where we didn't complain about your BS, about your issues, about nothing. We did what we have to do. So can you now come in line? And then by the third year, we're in paradise.
Yeah. The
So
third year, you're doing more focus on the family unit.
paradise at
Yeah.
that point.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Fathers Matter, BFM, not Black Lives Matter. We've been there, done that. The energy with that is all about violence and craziness and incarceration. We're not doing that. Black Fathers Matter. You matter. What you're doing matters. And if you need help, if you have questions, all day, complete access. Whatever we can do to help you matter more, we're here for you to do that.
Okay. So, I can't really give a lot of advice on being a black father because I'm not. But I can tell you some of the things that I would have liked to have or enjoyed as a young girl from my father. So it's 2:43. We need to wrap it up because I need to get ready for my family Zoom so I can talk to my mama and my daddy and my brothers. Thank you.
So once again, y'all, thank you for being with us. Happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of your wonderful day. You got a lot of college football championship games on. You got a full slate NBA coming up.
Oh my goodness.
It's a
And
great-
now
it's a
there's
great
live.
game.
Okay, so I do have to say one thing before you close, right?
Yes, yeah.
I was speaking to one of my friends who is a Korean young lady that owns a restaurant in Manhattan, Anna. It's called Miss Kim's. She is furious that Inside Dining has closed at the point that she's supposed to open her new business, and yet you can now go to football games live. So the Bills game
Yes.
is opening up so that people can come in and watch the game live. Some 6,700 people will be allowed to attend that game. So I think either on our next show. We're gonna have to do something over the weekend
Yes.
before Monday night.
What's today? Friday?
Today's Friday.
Okay.
I'm good any day.
Okay.
But
Maybe tomorrow.
that
I'll be
is
here tomorrow.
insane.
Or
I would
Sunday.
invite her to be our dial-in guest,
Yes.
but she loves the F word, and I don't know if she's gonna behave. She was pissed this morning when we were talking.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm no longer gonna be upset about this whole indoor dining issue. But I'm definitely willing to support the movement. I'm willing to bring anyone else who want to talk about it, because, like I said, we're gonna turn the negative into a positive. We're
Absolutely.
gonna turn it into positive. It's completely hypocritical. The governor is a Bills fan. He makes no shame about that.
Is he?
Yes, he's a Bills fan, and now he's all of a sudden allowing Bills to go watch the Bills, so he can sit his fat ass in the stands and watch his team play. But we can't sell food. But that's a whole nother story for another day. See you later.
I love your
what's
son. Bye, y'all. Excellent. You have to be on every show now.
No, he's not.
Because people
He wants his own show.